Well, well, well. Look who's back. It's the Squid Squad. Back for another episode of Lordscraft, from my perspective. It's great to see you all again, as we are beginning episode 4 of the series. And today is going to be more of a building experience. I already have the outline of the bridge over there that I am going to finish. And then potentially start outlining and figuring out what kind of tower I want to build here, whether I'm going to work it into that kind of structure there or tear it down and kind of put my own thing there, like my own tower without any kind of terrain gelled with it. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. World Trader. I'm going to try and figure that out, but biggest focus is going to be putting that bridge down, finishing it, and then potentially cutting down a lot more trees. We're going to try and take out a few more here and a few more here. So we're going to take a break away from our base that we already have and continue working on clearing this out. I was potentially thinking about putting a shop here in this spot. I'm not particularly sure yet if it's going to be here or maybe down below, right in this kind of area, smooth things out, and then start building. I'm not quite sure yet, but I know that I want to build a shop, specifically a wool shop. That will be a future thing when we start mapping everything out, myself and Noisy, because two of us are working diligently on trying to make progress on our own bases. He is doing a marvelous job with his starter base that he's working on. I haven't even started my starter base. It's still a beginner's base. And then maybe a little bit of nether and try to get some more basalt and blackstone. Reason being is because I think blackstone could potentially look great here on this bridge. What I mean by that is I do like the stone here, but I want to do a combination of wood and blackstone along with it, whether it's a lighter shade like oak here, of oak planks potentially, and then maybe blackstone underneath. So wood planks, I almost said woodstone planks, on the top here, kind of running along this thing, and then blackstone on the bottom of the curve. And what I may do, for all of you to just see how I'm building, is just do the gameplay of me building, but do a ×2 speed, and if you all want to watch it, I'll just leave it there for you all to watch and see how I was building it, or will build the rest of this. And if you don't want to see it and you just want to skip forward, well, I'll give you a timestamp on the video. We'll try and do it that way. But we will probably go to the nether to get more blackstone because we don't have any at the moment. So I guess I'll cut to go doing that. Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I don't know if I'll use the basalt at all, but we got a bunch of resources for the build. But let's get into the build on the bridge. So this is just to get out all the blocks that will be automatically exposed in the archway just before I finish up. So this right here, it was basically done to get all the true blocks out of the way before I go into the slabs and the stairs for the build. But that's just to help explain why I did that, and then I stopped there. So we'll get into the stairs and the slabs next. I personally really like how that came out, because you're coming up from here, and you have this dark underbelly underneath. So I like the contrast with the gray, and yeah, kind of like it. I might kind of add more detail into here because there are steps here. So maybe I'll just cut the end of this real quick and add that so it disappears into it. Might need a better transition between the blocks, but we'll also have to fill this in with potentially just cobblestone, I'm thinking, or dirt, something like kind of like a waste block, just to fill in the space. Specifically in this one, because I don't know if I'm going to do a side design to this. We might just wall this off real quick first, just to see how it looks, and then figure out if we want to add more depth to it or not. But yeah, that's the underside first, and I'll just skip over filling this in real quick. Hmm. Hmm. I'm filling it in, and I don't know how I feel about it. What I mean by that is I think it's too thin here. I don't like how that is. Maybe I'll add detail into it, or maybe I bring it out and add a different color in there. But I think that's the way I'm leaning towards with how this is turning out. I think that's what I'll do. Alrighty. Filled it in. Now we can kind of add whatever design we want to the bridge on the ground. But on the sides, I just don't know, because I feel like cutting it in like this is just too thin. I feel like it would be better looking bulkier, thicker. So I'm gonna toy around with this a bit and kind of see what maybe I want to roll with. But the other detail that I did add there was I kind of brought this in with some steps. I filled that in. And then I filled this in because obviously it's kind of where it rotates back. But I'm also leaning toward potentially using this one instead of just the stone bricks. We use like wood to help break up the color change. Either that or put the wood here. I'm not sure, but I'm leaning toward that as the direction, and we'll just cut to me kind of going at a fast pace on whatever I decide on as the materials. So I made an adjustment, and I think I like this adjustment. I like that it sticks out. I like that aspect of it. I think I'll need to make some fine tweaks on the overall build, but I'm going to do that on the other side. And yeah, it creates a little bit of an overhang to it. So we're going to roll with it. So I'm gonna be honest. I like how that kind of turned out. I'm debating whether to put a slab right there on top or just cut it in half. I don't know yet. But I do like that kind of arch, and I think it broadens it a bit. I know that when you step up, obviously it's this close, so you can't really get all of it in one view, but I feel like it helps make it bulkier and a little bit more sturdy rather than thin. I haven't yet done it on the other side, so that'll be something I gotta work on. I unfortunately am burning out of materials, at least the ones that I've moved up to the mountain. So I'm gonna go back down and grab some more, and hopefully finish the project. Waiting for some more stone to smelt. And in the meantime, I gather resources like wool. Trying to oxidize my copper a bit more. And planting a few more trees. And also cooking some mutton that I have. I think it's important, especially while you wait, to keep yourself busy. Because then you're still remaining productive. Although to be honest, I'm sitting around here talking to all of you and kind of giving this advice instead of, you know, working on all this other stuff. But I guess I found a break point, so yeah. Back to being productive. So Squid Squad, I stopped stalling. I stopped wasting time. And I got the materials. And then I had 2 other people join the server. And because I run the server, obviously, I wanted to record. So I just kept myself busy and just started building other things. Then I just kept building and building and building, and well, I left the bridge alone because I wanted to obviously do the video on it, but I started building other things, and this is a little bit of a teaser of what I put together. Don't worry, don't worry. I will showcase everything that I put together, but if you see the rest of the recording with potentially some add-ons on the side, don't worry, I'll try and give more explanation and show you all a bit more of what's going on there and what I was thinking. I also did receive a comment from somebody. They were suggesting, hold on one second, they were suggesting that I put a statue right here. Now, I really like that idea. I do really like that idea. It's either going to be a statue in this area or I'm going to build a water fountain. I'm not sure yet, but I'm really grateful for the comment. So thank you, Aquifer. Also, thank you for the help on Halo. I do appreciate it. So shout out to you for your idea. It was very helpful. And now I'm going to go to sleep before it gets too dark. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk to you something about this bridge. I did finish kind of this arch that I was thinking of to help give it some more depth, but something else that I did find out when I was putting this all together, and this is my fault. If you put up a side-by-side comparison of what I built, you would probably notice that I trimmed it down a bit by about 3 blocks. It's because the arch that I put together, well, let's just say my dimensions weren't aligned to how I was setting up there. Now, I could have shifted this obviously back, this kind of like arch that I put on, I could have shifted it further back, but that would also mean that I would shift this archway off to the left, and it just looked weird. It just looked weird to me to have way less of an arch. Well, only one side of an arch practically, and I didn't want to do that. So I basically cut this, brought it closer, and thankfully it wasn't to the point where it was too much terraforming. But I do know that I don't want to run with cobblestone anymore. And I was thinking of potentially stone bricks right in between these gaps because we have more depth. But I was thinking maybe a darker color there or oxidized copper. I don't know. We're gonna go with the dark first and put it in there, and then maybe we'll do the oxidized copper next. And I'll let you all vote. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. we got a very big decision to make. And I'm going to let you all decide what will stay and what will go. I had two options for you. Option 1 is going to be the oxidized copper, and option 2 is polished blackstone bricks. Put it down in the comments on which one you prefer, and I'm going to show you what both look like on this bridge right now. A little bit of a wonky camera cut there. Here, let me get my shield off so we can all take a look at it. Oxidized copper and the blackstone. Truth be told, when I'm looking at this, I could potentially bring all this down kind of another like half slab. I'm thinking maybe this is not enough space and I want to show more. I still need to replace all that, but I feel like I can go a little bit further with this and drop it down even further to show more of kind of a design to it. It's not as noticeable, of course, because we're really high up. I know it's getting dark. That's partially why I'm getting down. So feel free to pause it there. Like it's less noticeable here, but I still think it's an important decision. And I want to give you all the freedom to kind of pick and choose how the sides will be designed. Now, of course, if you all have option 3, we'll throw an option 3 in here. I can't obviously show it, but I'm going to give you all the option 3 route. Pick a material for me to try. Pick a material for me to try, and I'll see how it looks. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is fill in this kind of walkway right here, and finish up that post over here, and we'll pretty much call this done for episode 4, which I'm very happy with. Happy to have a project done, but first, sleep. Alrighty. I'm liking how this turned out, but I do think it's missing something. A railing. That's what we had to do. I also noticed how I'm slowly sliding. Anyways, yeah, so we're gonna add the siding real quick. Thinking a railing potentially of sorts, maybe cobblestone just to break it up. And then maybe throw in a lantern on either side, right in there. And I think we might be done. At least until decision time is made. I don't want to fill all this in just quite yet, till a decision is made from all of you. But we're going to do the railing right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that'll do it for now. I am pretty much satisfied with how things turned out. I might make some tweaks and adjustments over time, and I'll certainly decide on what kind of color palette we're going with based upon your vote. So feel free to put down again in the comments below which option A, or option 1, option 2, or option 3, a material of your choice in Minecraft, and we'll try and make it work. But ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I am wrapping up episode 4. It was a blast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think of the bridge down in the comments below. If you like it, if you hate it, if you think I did a good job, a terrible job, let me know. Squid Squad, I'm always appreciative of the feedback because then it helps me improve. That's the big thing. I want to get better at building, and the only way to do that is to fail or succeed and figure out whether I have or not. But again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, of course, if you choose. But most importantly, as always, suit up, mad. Ooh, I caught myself. I caught myself that time. Suit up, Squid Squad. I'll see you all in episode 5. And if things are going the way they are planning, we might be going to the ancient city. I'm sure it'll all turn out fine, am I right? I'm definitely capable of doing such a thing. Right? Right? Save me.